The following is a live special presentation of Retro Sports Network. Home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Well, my name is Ron Chuckett. Welcome to the program for this, for this 21st day of September 2022. A doubleheader for you today as the California Angels remain alive in the American League Championship Series. All through the last few days, we've been told by the experts, I'm looking at you, Brad, that the Blue Jays don't hit left-handed pitching well. Well, they get their chance to prove that today to the California Angels. They go with John Candelaria, who can go about 105 pitches and has made the Blue Jays make 3 changes in the field for Game 5. On the other hand, Doyle Alexander, who pitched so well in Game 2, gets the second of Toronto's 4 chances to clinch the pennant. So that's a situation for you. A beautiful night at Disney again. There's no changes in the lineup for the Angels. It worked last night. Why not use it today? As again, down 3-1 for the Angels. 1 batter, 1 inning at a time, 1 out at a time. Don't think about the big picture. At about an hour and 10 minutes, you might be back on the plane headed for Toronto for Game 6 and start to scare some people. So that's the setup for you. It's the Angels and the Blue Jays in Game 5 of the American League Championship Series. As Retro Sports Network presents the 1985 American League Championship Series. Today, Game 5, live from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, between the Toronto Blue Jays and California Angels. The Blue Jays leading 3-1. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. It's never good to have an itchy nose right about when you're to go on. But yet, here we are. One moment. So it is John Candelaria on the hill. I'm doing well, sign mine. How about yourself? Trying to save the Angels season. He can go about 105 pitches. He came over from the Pirates on August 2nd. 13 starts, 7-1 with a 1.390 whip. And an earned run average of 384. How you doing, Matt? Candyman's last appearance was October 5th, that weekend series against Texas. He went 5 innings. His longest start of the year is 6 2/3. And trying to trust this Angel bullpen is... So overall, 72 2/3 innings. Postseason afternoon baseball game tonight, by the way, too. Dodgers and Cardinals, Game 4 of that series. So 72 2/3 for Candyman, 72 hits, 33 runs, 31 earned, 7 homers. He's walked 29, struck out 53. 7-1 with a 3.84 ERA. And this will be the lineup he'll face. There are plenty of changes for the Blue Jays. There's only 2 lefties in the lineup, Mosby and Witt. So Damaso Garcia leads off at second base. Lloyd Mosby in center field will bat second. John has a good feeling about the Candyman. Don't we all? Don't we all? George Bell batting third and left. Cecil Fielder makes his playoff starting debut at first base for Willie Upshaw. Jesse Barfield on the right will bat fifth. Ernie Witt behind the plate. He's the other lefty for the Jays in the lineup today. He'll bat sixth. Garth Orr gets the call at third base. He had a pinch hit home run in Game 3. Jeff Burrows, one of those journeyman players trying to get a shot at the ring. He is the DH. He'll bat eighth. And I forgot to change his name again. Tony Fernandez batting ninth at short. And Doyle Alexander has the hopes of the entire country of Canada trying to lock this down for Toronto. Defensively for the Angels, Downing is 7-3 in left, Pettis a 9-9 in center, Reggie a 2 and an 8 in right, DeCinces a 5 at third, Schofield a 7 at short, Grich an 8 at second, Carew a 4 at first, Boone a 6 and an 8 behind the plate, and Candyman is a 6 with a 909 fielding percentage. Beniquez will come in when he needs to, and they could also go with Gerber for Schofield at short. Garcia 5 for 19 in this ALCS, hitting .263 with 3 RBI. And Game 5 starts with a fly ball left field. Back goes Downing, and Brian will track that one down, 1 out. And you can see why Candy is tough against lefties. Mosby's outcome box here is 141. That would be a cool down for sure. 8 for 16 on this LCS, hitting .500 with 5 RBI. Alexander can go about 135 pitches. Toronto just needs to get in that California bullpen and take their chances. Mosby strikes out. Candy got him to swing and miss on a 1-2 fastball, 2 out. 78 degrees here in Anaheim. Wind's blowing out to left at 4. Here's George Bell at .250, 2 homers and 7 RBI. If there is a Game 6, it would be Friday afternoon at noon. Pitch to Bell. Ground ball to third. Schofield deep in the hole. Long throw to first. And Bell is... They got him on a bang-banger. And so that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. So Doyle Alexander trying to pitch the Blue Jays to the World Series. Went 6 2/3 in Game 2. 117 pitches, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. The Blue Jays defense has not been all that in a bag of chips. No homers, he walked 2 and struck out 3. 35 years old, fastball pitcher 84 and a ground ball pitcher. And this will be the lineup that they'll face. Gary Pettis, who has struggled but is very good defensively, leads off in center field. If he can start getting on base, he can steal bases. Rod Carew does not want this to be the end of his road. He's at first batting second. He has been the heart and soul of the Angels offense. Brian Downing snapped out of his slump yesterday. He's at left batting third. Again, Reggie Jackson is in the field in right field and not the DH. Doug DeCinces batting fifth at third. Bobby Grich at second will bat sixth. Since it's Canadian A, would that be all that in a bag of ketchup chips? I think it would be a bag of milk since it's Ontario. Rupert Jones is the DH. He'll bat seventh. Dick Schofield starts the game at short, batting eighth. Bob Boone behind the plate, going ninth. And the Candyman, John Candelaria, on the mound. Defensively for Toronto, again, there's some changes. Bell a 5 and a 5 in left. Mosby a 5 and a 4 in center. Barfield an 8 and a 10 in right. Org is really not a defensive upgrade over Mullenix. He's a 3 at third. Fernandez an 8 at short. Garcia a 4 at second. Fielder a 5 at first. Witt a 6 and a 3 behind the plate. And Alexander a 7 on the bat. Excuse me. At a 984 fielding percentage. One more. I think. Excuse me. So Gary Pettis leads off 2 for 16 on the series with an RBI. But if he gets on base, he can steal. The key is he's got to get on base. Alexander starts his game 5 with a base hit left field. Bell will pick it up. And that's what the Angels wanted. So here's Carew hitting .462, 6 for 13, 4 walks and 2 RBI. They don't throw to first, and Carew draws the walk. So the Angels, maybe the turnaround in this series, thank you, sir, was Bob Boone beating out that infield hit in the 7th. Here's Downing, Brian 2 for 12 with 4 RBI. Here's the pitch. In the right center, Mosby moving over, coming in, rides the Schwinn, makes the catch. Pettis has good speed. Mosby has an average arm. Gary's trying for third. The throw is going to be close over there, and he is safe. Carew moves to second. No, he's out! He's out! Org with a good tag. Carew moves to second, 2 out for Reggie. 231, 3 for 13. Has walked 3 times and struck out 3 times. Alexander deals. Carew goes right field, Barfield. Ball's well struck, but it's going to stay in the yard, and that will retire the side. So unlike the Cardinals, the speed that California has is burning themselves. Half an inning in the books, no score. So here's Fielder. Now, down the stretch, the Blue Jays kept sticking Cliff Johnson at first. And no wonder why they figured that you can't hit lefties when you're going with Cliff Johnson. Cecil struck out his one appearance here in the LCS. On the real year, 311, 4 homers, and 16 RBI. Candelaria starts the second with a line drive to right. Reggie, 1 out. Now bring up Barfield. Jesse has struggled in this series. He is 3 for 17. A single, a double, or 2 singles, a double, and an RBI. But he has struck out 6 times. Popped up. Left side to Sensei. 2 out. For Witt, Steve Nicosia is the other option. Ernie, 4 for 16, 2 homers, 2 singles. Struck him out. So Candyman got his job done. Ernie was looking for something he didn't get. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. So DeCinces, Grich, and Jones to face Alexander here in the bottom of the second. Doug 2 for 15 on the series with a solo homer. Left field, Bell. 1 out. Tonight, 8 Eastern, 9 or 5 Pacific. It'll be John Tudor for the Cardinals against Jerry Royce for the Dodgers. Cardinals hoping to even up that best-of-7 series. Dodgers are up 2-1. Bobby Grich is 2 for 14, hitting .143 with a solo home run. To third, Org. Long throw to first. And that will be an error, as it got away from Fielder on the low throw. I'm not sure Upshaw would have had that one either. Org just kind of flung it, and it goes in the dugout. The Blue Jays have not fielded well this series. And Grich is in scoring position with 1 out for Rupert Jones, who went 0 for 3 in Game 4. That's the bad news. But he walked twice. Chopper to Fielder. Cecil. 2 out. So here's Schofield, 1 for 9, a single and RBI. Pitch from Alexander. Schofield in the right. Barfield will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits. The error does not hurt. After 2 in Game 5, no score. Must win for the... Well, you don't want to go down 3-1 for sure. But Tudor won 28 in the replay. So I think that St. Louis is feeling pretty confident that they're going to win this one. But that's why we played the games. Regardless, I think the series goes back to L.A. And it's set up for Tudor to go 1, 4, and 7. Fernando would pitch Game 5. And I'm not sure if... I think it might be Bob Force. We might be in a situation where we are in this series where the Angels, number 1, went in Game 4 and McCaskill, and then had to go with Candelaria in Game 5 because Romantic wasn't ready. Org, by the way, 1 for 2. He had a solo home run as a pinch hitter in Game 3. Candelaria's pitch, ground ball, base hit. So that's the first hit for the Jays. Here's Burrows. 257 on the real year, 6 homers and 28 RBI. Yeah, so really, if the Dodgers can beat Tudor, the Cardinals are in trouble. But I think St. Louis figures, look, he won 28. He threw a 2-hitter in Game 1. They need to beat us. We think we can get him 3 starts if we need to. And so, you got to win every game that he doesn't pitch if you're going to beat us. Runner on first, pitch to Burrows as a chopper to Carew. Rod will take it to the bag himself. Org moves to second. And there's 1 out. So here's Fernandez. Tony at 429, 6 for 14 in the ALCS. 3 doubles and 2 RBI. Here's the pitch. Fernandez line drive to third. DeCince's there, and Org scampers back. 2 out. So Candelaria is opening 9 on 38 pitches, 2 2/3, a hit and 2 strikeouts. Garcia is 0 for 1. Base hit left field. Org will do what? Downing has it. Org will round third, maybe. Garcia's got a single and will score. Org will score without a throw, and the Blue Jays in the third go up 1-0. The lines for concessions were ridiculous. It is Southern California. So 2 out, and the Blue Jays break on through first. For Mosby, who struck out his first time up. To short, Schofield in the hole. Goes to Gritch, and that will retire the side. But the Blue Jays break on through and get a run in on Candelaria. We go to the bottom of the third inning here, and Anaheim 1-0 Jays. So Boone, Pettis, and Carew to face Alexander here in the third. Bob is 3 for 13 on the series. A double, 2 singles, and an RBI. To third. Org already had 1 error today. Fielder finds the bag, 1 out. Brings up Pettis. Gary singled his first time up. Alexander, that's the lone in he's given up. 2 1/3, 30 pitches. And Action PC, that's your tell. How many pitches per 9 batters? Alexander gave up a hit to Pettis and a walk. 1-0 Jays, bottom of the third, 1 out. Pettis is not going to bunt here. He swings a chopper to short. Fernandez has it, throws across the way. 2 out. Carew walked his first time up. He's walked 5 times in this series. So game 4 of the Dodgers and Cardinals tonight at 8. Game 5 of the Dodgers and Cardinals will be Thursday at noon. Tomorrow at noon. And at that point, we'll know what the rest of the way is. It would be, by the way, a Sunday doubleheader. We'll do the doubleheader on Sunday if this series goes the distance. If this series goes the distance. Brains for Life, how you doing, John? Carew. Got him. And after 3, Alexander doing his job. No runs, no hits, no errors as Carew strikes out looking. 1-0 Jays. And if you joined us late, Toronto leads the series 3-1. Their next win, provided it happens sometime in the next 3 games, has the World Series start in Toronto. If the Angels win the series, then the World Series starts right here. Here's George Bell. He's 0 for 1. Candelaria starts the 4th. That's into center field. Pettis moving over. That's well struck. That's very well struck. That's off the wall. And Bell is going to have a stand-up double as that throw goes into third. So that brings up Fielder, who's 0 for 1. And remember, all hands on deck that can for California. So a good start to the inning for Toronto. Pitch to Fielder. Right field. It's Reggie. 1 out. Bell tags and goes to third. Oh, you had eye surgery? Cataracts? So 1 out, and the runner on third for Barfield, who's 0 for 1. I'm sorry, John. How is St. Louis, by the way? Candelaria deals. Struck him out. That's a big out. That is a huge out. A late called strike 3 on a 1-2 count. But watch it. It's better than working. So a huge out. 2 out for Witt, who struck out his first time up. And he struck him out. So the lefties are really struggling against Candelaria, and the Blue Jays cannot score. No runs, a hit, and they leave them on. They've left on 2 after 3.5 here at the Big A. 1-0 Jays. So Downing, Jackson, and DeCinces to face Alexander. Downing is 0 for 1. There's a chopper over the mound. Fernandez on the grass. A bang-banger. And Bryan is safe on the hit. It was an infield hit by Bob Boone that sparked the Big Valley for California last night. St. Louis was great. Maybe the best baseball town you've seen. And you've been to Wrigley and Fenway. Nice. They got to be buzzing with Pujols, too. So here's Reggie. He's 0 for 1. Line drive to Fernandez for the out. Tony leaps and makes a fantastic catch. 1 out for DeCinces, who's 0 for 1. To third, might be 2. Org. Garcia for 1, turns, pivots, and they're going to turn it. Around the horn they go, 5-4-3, and we are through 4. No runs, a hit, no errors. The Angels didn't leave anybody on. To the 5th we go, 1-0 Jays. So Org, Burrows, and Fernandez here in the 5th. Pitch from Candelaria. Fly ball, right center. Pettis drifting back, makes the catch. 1 out. Oh, I'm sure. Every time Pujols came up, the whole ballpark was on their feet. So here's Burrows. Jeff is 0 for 1. To third, DeCinces. That's a little warbler, and he won't even throw it. So an infield single for Burrows. That's the fourth Toronto hit. And here's Tony Fernandez, who's 0 for 1. Pitch to Tony. Right center field. Pettis running in. Rides the Schwinn. Makes the catch. So 2 out for Garcia. Damaso is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a single. Candelaria, 18 batters. That pitch count's creeping up there. 4 2/3 innings, 77 pitches, 4 hits and 4 strikeouts. Ground ball, Grich in the hole. Goes to Schofield at second, and that will retire the side. So the Angels are doing what they can. They got to get some base runners on. Alexander has been fantastic. Halfway home in Game 5, the Blue Jays lead the series 3-1, and the game 1-0. Well, if you joined us late, you haven't missed much. Damaso Garcia with an RBI single to score Garth Oregon III has been the lone run of the game. Doyle Alexander has been lights out, a 2-hitter through 4, a walk and a strikeout. Candelaria, a 4-hitter through 5, just the 1 run so far, and he has struck out 4. And so a case of that Candelaria's day is probably going to come to a close relatively soon. He doesn't have that many pitches, and he's already thrown 83. So Lapsky Smurf is brought to Champaign. Braves for life. John saw Pujols get his 2,200th RBI, a double to left. Third behind Ruth and Aaron all time. Grich is 0 for 1. Alexander starts the 5th, a fly ball right field. Barfield moving over into right center. And Jesse makes the catch, 1 out. So here's Rupert Jones. He's 0 for 1. Alexander winds and deals. Chopper to second. Garcia has it. Over to first, 2 out. For Schofield, who was 1 for 10 now in the series and 0 for 1 today. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. Alexander mows him down on 12 pitches. No runs, no hits, no errors. 10th time here at Disney, 1-0 Blue Jays. So the good news is for Candelaria, he's got Mosby, but the bad news is Bell, Fielder, and Barfield to follow. John has done his job. He's held the Jays to 1 run on 4 hits through 5. Alexander has pitched better. Pitch to Mosby. Swung on, ground ball. Schofield with a diving stop by the bag. Over to first for the out. 1 away. Brings up Bell. Bell doubled in the 4th. Went to third with 1 out and could not score. Champagne on ice in the locker room, but we're not allowing Bob Costas in until it's clinched. Yep. And this would be a Bob and Tony series for sure. Pitch to Bell. walked him. Alexander and Bell are probably the two candidates for MVP if it ends today. Here's Cecil. Fielder is 0 for 2. Candyman coming right on it, and I'm seeing that outcome box, and it's going to be over pretty quick. Next base runner, I would think. There goes Bell. It is a hit and run, and it's a strike him out, but they can't throw him out. So Bell is in scoring position with 2 out for Barfield, who is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. So Candelaria has done pretty much all he can. The Angels need to start getting some hits. And if you look at that lineup, the only one in the lineup that has a decent batting average in this series is Rod Carew. Pitch to Barfield. He walked him, and that'll do it for Candelaria. Oh, boy, but do I have him pitch to Witt? I mentioned in a Patel and pitches per 9. If you look at Alexander through 5, he's at 63 pitches. So anything less than 15, usually that pitcher's going to be winning the ball game. Candelaria has spent all 105 with 2 out in the 6th. Candy says, I'm done. Al Holland will come in. Lefty versus lefty. And the game tells you, sign mine, that you're tired, you pull them. Even with that. And right now, in a one-run game, you can't afford to make a mistake. So they'll go. They had the one lefty in the pen, and it's Al Holland, who faced 4 batters, walked and struck out a batter. That was in game 1. Tribe Fan gets the auto mod. Tomaoka, that's a name you haven't heard. So Witt has struck out twice. First and second, 2 out here in the 6th. Right field, and well struck. Reggie runs over, makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Candelaria goes to the shower. I don't know what more he could have done after 5.5, 1-0 Jays. So, yeah, I mean, that's the conundrum side mine as Bob Boone steps up. He's 0 for 1. A 64% chance of a strikeout, but a tired pitcher. Zalapsky Smurf was fortunate enough to see Pujols play in the World Series in Detroit. A 1-run game is manageable. A 3-run game or 4-run game may be enough for the Jays, especially the way Alexander's going. Pitch to Boone. Line drive, 1 out. Org is there. So here's Pettis. Gary is 1 for 2 with a single. They play for the bunt. Pettis hits a line drive into right center field. Barfield will cut it off. So the tying run is on. Carew is walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. They go. Witt will just hold it, and Gary has second stolen. Pitch was ball 1 high. And so here's Carew. Yeah, well, if he wasn't tired, I'd have pitched him. But you got to do what you got to do. And if Holland can get to Mosby, then he'll have done his job. Because it's righties the rest of the way. Throw to second, and Pettis is back. So the computer does the Wheel of Fortune play, and a 1-ball count to Carew. Up the middle, Garcia should behind the bag throw out Carew. Pettis goes to third, and there's 2 out, but the tying run is 90 feet away. So here's Downing. Bryan is 1 for 2. Alexander looks at third, throws home. Base hit, we're tied. Barfield will pick it up. And one of the rare times for the Angels in the series where the speed actually worked in their favor. And so the stolen base created the run. And here's Reggie. He's 0 for 2. So 1-1 here in the 6th. To first, Cecil retires the side. But the Angels get that run that they needed so much on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 7th, 1-1. And now you got to wonder how much the Blue Jays fans are starting to worry. It's the little things that turn a series around. Bob Boone with the infield hit last night. George Bell not being able to score from third with 1 out. Here's Orr. Garth is 1 for 2. They'll leave him in the ball game with a run scored. Center field. Pettis moves over into left center. 1 out. See what they do with Burrows. Jeff is 1 for 2. Stays in the game. Ground ball to short. Schofield. 2 out. So here's Fernandez. He's 0 for 2. Toronto fans are always worried. Pitch to Tony. Fly ball left field. Fingernail biting time. 1-1. So to Sensei, Grich, and Jones, Dog is 0 for 2. To first, Fielder has it for the out. Grich is 0 for 2. Alexander winds and deals. Base hit right center, and that's the go-ahead run. Barfield cuts it off. And Juan Beniquez will come in to pinch hit. He's the DH now, 4 for 13 on the series. With an RBI, 3 runs scored, a stolen base, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. (1-1), bottom 7. Alexander from the stretch. Snap throw to first, and Grich is back. So 1-ball count to Beniquez. Gets away from Witt, and Grich can't go. The splitter was in the dirt, and Grich couldn't get a jump. Again, it's these little things that may or may not hurt. The 2-0 to Beniquez. Ground ball to Fielder, who can't make the play. And the rally monkey is running around again. First and second. 1 out for Schofield, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Deep breath from Alexander. Up the middle, might be two. Fernandez with a stop. Over to Garcia for one. Cecil for two. And the Jays get out of it. No runs. A hit in the air doesn't hurt. The double play worked. After 7, 1-1. How you doing, Scotty? So Garcia, Mosby, and Bell. And Holland will face Mosby and Garcia. So Damaso 1 for 3 today with an RBI. The last two games have been pretty tense affairs. Pitch to Garcia. Walked him. So the go-ahead run is on for Mosby, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Angels going to the pen after this, regardless. The series momentum, yeah, I don't think anyone wants the series to go back to Toronto. Boone and Holland have a word. Al to short. This might be two. Schofield, Grich for a 1. Carew for 2. And with 2 out in the 8th, wow. It's Clyburn. So, yeoman's work from Holland. Toronto has finally chased off all the lefties. Clyburn, 29. Fastball pitcher, 86, and a ground ball plus pitcher. Pitched in game 3. An inning and 2/3, 39 pitches, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, a homer. And immediately becomes the pitcher of record. With 2 out here in the top of the 8th in a 1-1 game. Bell has a double. He's 1 for 2. Up the middle, Clyburn over to first, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. This is what you kind of expected the entire way. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 1-1. So Alexander will face Boone. Pettis, you're not pulling Gary today. He's 2 for 3. And Carew. Bob is 0 for 2. 1-1 to score. If they get the lead to the Angels, Donnie Moore starting to loosen. Pitch to Bob. Base hit left center field. Bell picks it up. Here's Pettis. Gary 2 for 3. They're playing in at third. Gary has scored and stole a base, his second of the series. He squares. Bunt is down. Witt goes to first, and Boone moves to second. So the sacrifice works. 1 out, and the go-ahead run in scoring position. Gerber to pinch run. He's an 8. So he would score on a single. Carew is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Base hit right field. Barfield picks it up. Gerber will round third and hold. Oh my goodness, he held. Oh my, he was brought in to score. And the run holds. I know nobody scores on Barfield's arm, but goodness, you got to do it. You're out of tomorrow's if you don't win. Here's Downing. He's 2 for 3. He's singled twice and driven in a run. Candelaria gave up 1 run through his 6. Al Holland exhausted the lefties for the Angels. Pitched well. They tied the game in the 6th. The go-ahead run is on third. I'm sure the Angels are counting on more of those runs they've scored in this series. Runner on third. Carew and Downing on. The Angels lead. Single in the left field. Gerber will score. Carew is not going to run on Fernandez or Bell, and it's 2-1 Angels. And they are 3 outs away from sending this series back to Toronto. Here's Reggie. He's 0 for 3. Base hit up the middle. Carew will round third. Mosby will throw, and you're not going to run him. Base is loaded. So 2-1. It is righty, 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 righty. Jim Acker will get the call. The computer hook is terrible in the playoffs. Acker 27, fastball pitcher at 90. Ground ball plus pitcher. He pitched in game 1. He pitched in game 3. 2 2/3, 2 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. They're playing halfway. DeCinces 0 for 3. Base hit left field. Carew will score. Mosby bobbles it. Here comes Downing. Reggie rounding third. DeCinces will go to second. Jackson will not score. And it's 4-1. Here's Gritch. He's 1 for 3. Acker deals. And the Angels are going to storm back to send this series to Toronto. My goodness. Jackson scores. DeCinces goes to third. Runners on the corners. For Benitez, who's 0 for 1. The Angels a 4 spot in the 8th. Washington Capitol fans can commiserate. Pitch to Juan. Line drive over Garcia. And so Acker is doing today what Donnie Moore did in game 3. He's not going to get anybody. So Hanky going to get some work. Tom got the save in 1 game already. That was game 2 in the 7-4 win. Dave C. Sorry. A moment ago, this game was tied at 1, and the Angels have popped in for 5 here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. So Gritch and Benitez on. Schofield's pitch to Schofield, struck him out. A 1-2 on the inside corner. So here's Gerber. Here's one of the rare cases where a pinch runner has to hit. And Toronto's going to get on that plane back home wondering what in the daylight Dickens happened to them. But again, for California, 1 inning, 1 out, 1 game at a time. Gerber has a run score today. He's 0 for 2 in the series. Zalapsky Smurf has opened the champagne for other reasons. So first and second, Gerber a ground ball to third. Org over to Garcia, and that will retire the side. Well, depends on what side of the coin you're looking at. It's been a tale of two cities for sure. Disneyland has been kind for the home team, but the Angels don't have any more home games. We go to the 9th. They're in a 4 and a 4 with a 5-run lead. You might as well pitch Clyburn. See what they do with Fielder, who's 0 for 3. This series turned on a dime. For 3 games, the first 3 games, the Angels couldn't do anything right. And now they can't do anything wrong. We're going to guess romantic for Game 6. But again, McCaskill throwing a gem last night, keeping them in the game. Bob Boone beating out the infield hit. George Bell not being able to score from third with 1 out. Those are the things that change series around. Clyburn will face Lou Thornton. Lou, 236, a homer and 8 RBI in the real season. As a pinch hitter, 375 with 6 RBI. The Blue Jays need 5 to tie and 6 to go ahead. Chopper over the mound. Gritch has to hurry. No. Thornton's on with a single. Only the 5th hit allowed by the Angels today. Here's Barfield. Jesse is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Throw to first. Thornton back. Got him. An 0-2 curve at the belt. 1 out for Witt, who was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He walked him. So first and second, 1 out for Org. And they aren't going to mess around. Here comes Moore. So Moore, 31 years old, fastball 88, a ground ball pitcher, making his 3rd appearance in the series. Last night, he went, they needed 6 outs, and he got them. On 26 pitches, allowed a hit and struck out 2. So overall in the series, in 3 appearances, 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits. 2 runs, both earned, and 3 strikeouts. And again, it may not be a safe situation, but you don't want to open up that barn door. If Org hits, he's 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. Rance Mullenix will pinch hit. Rance 3 for 15 on the series. 2 singles, a double, and an RBI. First and second, 1 out. Double play sends the series back to Toronto. Walked him. And they are loaded for Burrows, and I would imagine it'll be Al Oliver to pinch hit. Well, there's a day off between games 5 and 6. So it's sweat bullet times if you're an Angel fan. You got this one seemingly wrapped up. And Willie Upshaw's going to pinch hit. So Willie has had a tremendous series. 6 for 13. He's hit for the cycle in the series, not in the game. And driven in 2. Moore from the stretch. Bases loaded. Struck him out. He got him to look at a 1-2 fastball. It shrunk. Someone left, Brad. So they're loaded for Tony Fernandez, who is 0 for 3. Donnie Moore, everybody up in Anaheim. More deals. Fly ball, right field. There goes Jackson, and we're going back to Toronto. The Blue Jays load the bases in the ninth and cannot score. And what seemed to be a coronation in the making the last two nights has turned into California's got a chance. They have brought this series back to Toronto. And Game 6 will be Friday afternoon at noon Eastern. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They left on 6. The Jays had got to be kicking themselves. 1 run, 5 hits, and 3 errors. They've not played good defense in this series at all. They leave on 8. The Candyman, Brad, did what you thought he would do, but he didn't have a lot of it in the tank. But Al Holland went 2 innings and a walk. And Al is going to be your Digital Dice MVP because he kept it in place for Clyburn, who got the win, and more. Although it's technically not a save, it really is. The bases were loaded. Alexander, 9 hits through 7 in the third. The 5 runs, the computer left him in too long, and he would have left him in a while, gang. He had 143 pitches. Acker couldn't do anything. And then Tom Henke made sure that the score stayed at 6-1. So, here is how the rest of this series will play out. Well, we know there's going to be a Game 6. And that will be Friday at noon. If there is a Game 7, and if Los Angeles and St. Louis go to Game 6, 8 p.m. Sunday. Sunday, there would be a doubleheader. So, that's that for that. California has pushed this back to Toronto. NL game tonight, 8 Eastern. John Tudor for the Cardinals. Jerry Royce for the Dodgers. The Dodgers lead that one 2-1. But Tudor is a 28-game winner on the replay and 2-hit the Dodgers in Game 1. So there you have it. We'll talk to you tonight. The Angels have done the improbable and have forced this series back to Toronto. Till tonight, I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you then.